I hate everybody. I hope they all die. You heard me all.
I'm sure our audio levels were all over.
It's shitty.
They're garbage.
Stop trying to force him, man.
I'm gonna kill the hell of them all.
Yeah, yes, Jones!
Bye, guys.
There's nothing wrong with that. We all like gay people.
Just stare down.
3, 2, 1, and then I'll start the intro.
Real official.
Alright, clapping. Welcome to another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast. My name is Matthew, and with me today I have...
Oh, Christian.
Rheal.
Dan.
We never know which way we're going, so...
Is that a button?
Yeah, I dropped something. Don't worry about it.
Your pants breaking loose?
No, I only wear sweatpants. I'm very classy.
With buttons.
No,
So-
I got ash on.
Button-up sweatpants.
I got dollar signs on my butt.
So by the time everyone listens to this, it'll be December 10th, I believe, or roughly around there.
Oh,
So
have you done
like,
my-
we're pretty close to Christmas
What?
at this point.
Don't we post it
No.
days after?
No, we're ahead now, or something.
Dude,
Yes.
I haven't been on this
You
podcast
guys.
in years, so
Yes,
I mean, I have
yeah,
no idea.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
recognize you.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. So yeah, it's near
Hello.
Christmas and all that stuff. I don't know, do you guys have anything really interesting you wanted to talk about before I start my monologue?
Well, that just pretty much tells me that you just want to talk.
Yeah, 'cause I talk shit about Dan right now.
Ooh, I want to hear
You're
that.
gonna talk shit?
Yeah, I am.
Don't talk
I
shit
am.
about me.
This isn't actually talking shit, it's just a fact.
Just a fact
It's
of
really a
life.
fact of life for you.
Okay.
So, I find it very interesting that someone who's introverted, I'd say quite introverted, right? Like normally you'd say, like, what would you say, like on a scale from 1 to 10 for introverted?
I'm very introverted. I
So,
can,
like,
I
7 or
can
8.
do very well in a group setting if
Yeah.
I need to, but for a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Mm.
But so, like, you're like an 8, you'd say, for introvert out of 10?
I'd almost say like a.
I'd call
say,
Dan an
I'd say
8 out
10.
of 10.
Oh, really? Like, you're very introverted?
I like my time alone is
Yeah.
my favorite time.
So that's why I find it so interesting and funny about it, is
What?
that someone who's definitely a 10 and an introvert tries so hard to make a conversation up because he hates awkward silence.
No, I want.
Yeah, you
Okay.
hate silence in general because when I'm working out at the gym, you can't shut up. Like, I'm, like, literally talking, and then you ask me, like, these questions, like, that's the best part, too. He's always just asking you questions to something he doesn't know about, like I'm a fucking scientist. He's like, he goes like this every time, man. Today, he's like, hey, Matt, do you know who gets hurt more, rugby players or football players? I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know, Dan? I don't watch that
That's a
enough.
fair question.
And then you're like,
That's
"Oh,
a
I don't
fair
know,
question.
I don't know." And then every time I tell him something kind of fact, like, he's like, Matt, like, you know, like, does the CFL make more money, like the Riders, or does this college football team? I'm like, the college football team. And then he goes, I don't believe it. He goes on, and I tell him why. I'm like, yeah, like, they don't pay any of
America-
the athletes. Like, the
Yeah.
athletes don't get paid. They can get sponsors now, which is for the first time
Oh, that's
ever.
a new thing.
It just
yeah,
started, yeah. But that they can get paid from, like,
That's like
sponsorships
slavery.
and all that. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Yeah,
It was
you get-
pretty bad.
And, like, each college is making, like,
A shit
billions
ton of
off
money
it.
off
Yeah.
of them.
I was gonna say, even if they were getting paid, it would still probably be higher than our
But
CFL.
it took him, because I told that first, and then it took him 5 minutes to actually reiterate what I said, and he's like, holy shit, they're making way too much money.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fair enough. Fair
But I
enough.
just
Fair
find,
enough.
Like, someone who's so introverted and, like, wants peace and quiet, he cannot handle silence when he's around someone.
No, I don't like silence.
Yeah, you don't.
Actually, that's fair
That's
though.
what I
I
find so
hate awkward
interesting.
silences.
But the
But it's not awkward, it's
No,
just
no.
silence.
but I know.
Because he'll be like, he has to start a conversation. It's true. And there's nothing, it's not a flaw. I'm just saying I find it interesting.
Yeah.
Who's someone who's, like, so introverted and puts himself on that scale.
Oh yeah.
Like, doesn't want any silence when he's
Well,
around people.
and the whole thing, and don't get me wrong, you're right. You are right. I'm very uncomfortable when it comes to silences because my whole thought is I'm like, why are we fucking sitting here then?
Yeah.
Like we're not
Why am I
better.
here?
Like we're not learning anything. We're not doing anything. We're just
Dan's
here.
options are silence or verbal diarrhea.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well,
Or
the-
I'm leaving.
No, but okay. The way I look at it though, and here
it's
and-
usually the latter.
No, it is true. But the way I emphasize it, I look at everybody and why, like, I'm asking Matthew these questions. I like to learn. I'd like to know things. I don't know a lot of things. I know I don't. So when, especially something sports comes up, I go, Matthew knows sports. He's my one friend that is very sports oriented. He understands it. perhaps he would know something about this because he knows sports. So I go, hey, I wonder who gets injured more. Like, I'm like, rugby or like football players? Matt's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, okay. And I take it as that. I leave it because I'm like, he doesn't know. But at the other end, he says, okay, no, you're right. It took me 5 minutes to reiterate. I need to understand it. I don't understand any of it. So I get every aspect of it. And that's why I ask questions. So I go, like, I'm like, wait, why are, like, how do they have, like, more paid players than the like CFL? You're like, well, this. I'm like, okay. Then how can they have, like, these avenues and how these people not, like, and then you told me how they're not making money. I'm like, oh my God, they're getting ripped off. You're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. But because I asked, I now understand. I wouldn't have understood before. Yeah. So if anything, you are right. I hate silences. No, it is funny because I hate silences, and I will immediately start to talk to someone because to me, if I'm with someone working out, I guess you're right. It's different. You're doing a task, but otherwise, it's useless. It's like, why am I sitting with someone and we're not discussing, or we're not talking, or we're not doing?
That's only one thing you do, though. The other thing you do is you're the king of hypothetical questions.
Yes, I love them.
You always fucking ask.
What's wrong with hypotheticals? They're interesting.
Because it's just like the same thing where it could be like the dumbest hypothetical.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey Matt, like if you were a Pokemon trainer and you had a favorite Pokemon, like let's say it's Zapdos, and then like you could pick Pikachu. Which one would you pick and why? I'm like, I have to give you a whole like biography
but which one?
of what I want to do.
I actually want to hear the answer to that now.
Zapdos is a fucking legendary.
No, but why would you not pick Pikachu? He's the
Wait, are we living at home?
No, we are living.
Do I have to take care of it? Do I have to raise it?
Every time you give an answer, he fights for the other one. He's like, why didn't you pick this one?
Yeah.
And he goes, blah, 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 and he gives you all these answers.
Okay, but, and you know what? No, you're right. I like hypotheticals, though, because it's interesting. Don't you wonder about this shit?
Yeah, that reminds me of is the Will Ferrell bit where he's Harry Carey.
I don't know.
You never. Oh, it's like one of his famous SNL.
What do you feed Pokemon, man? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like,
it's one of his famous SNL characters. Like he would just like be interviewing someone and like it's supposed to be sports, right?
Yeah.
And he'd just be like doing this thing. He's like, "Hey, if the moon was made out of cheese, would you eat it?" So that's what it reminds me of. Just Dan asking stupid fucking questions.
100%.
this is the thing, though. I will say this. I really appreciate the creativity because I couldn't even come up with
No,
those
you
questions
get
in
some
my mind.
weird questions.
You go like dark, like not dark, but you go deep into something. I'm like,
It's fun!
No, but that's what I'm saying. I even went that far.
Yeah.
But you can go like super far and think that far and ask those questions and like.
But I think if you're in the mood for a conversation like that, it's just like, let's go fucking deep.
I
on
guess
this.
you know what? Actually, no. Honestly, I'm probably perfect for hanging around stoners.
I was just gonna say those hypothetical questions are perfect for when you're drunk or stoned.
And
then you're like gonna answer and have a debate about it. Like it's perfect. You're at the gym trying to
deadlift
something, and he's just like,
I don't do it in the middle of a rack. I do it when you're off the machine. But like, I'll always ask stuff. And like, no, you are right. And like. The other day, and I was like, why did you? Because I do this with Syl too, and I do catch myself. I love hypotheticals. I love to put in situations. I go, okay, if this A or B,
okay,
how would you?
Let's make the podcast. You ask like 4 hypothetical questions. Like, what's some of the best questions?
Okay. Matthew, hypothetical question.
Let's say everyone at the table. You have to ask.
Oh, everybody. Yeah, we're going round style.
Yeah. So we'll all go like a round table.
And then I get to actually ask the questions I would want to ask.
Ask as groups, and you have to answer them with their own answers.
Okay.
That's kind of creative and different. So.
Okay, hypothetical. Or no. Okay, let's say, upon growing up from born to now, have any of you ever wondered about your sexuality towards men?
Is that a hypothetical? Or is that a direct?
That's a good question.
That sounds like a direct question.
No, you're right. I'm supposed to do hypothetical. You're right. That doesn't apply.
That's actually a real question. Oh shit. Yeah,
no, you're right. Hey,
Should we answer it?
Clearly, at some point, Dan must have thought
hey. Hypothetically speaking, if you were to tomorrow win the lottery, how would you go about telling people I don't want to get and people are gonna flood in? Hey, I need this. I need this. I need this.
How much money are we talking?
I'm talking
like generational wealth or just like a couple million?
We're talking like you won Lotto Max, like you won like 60 million or whatever.
That's generational wealth.
That's a lot of money. So you have that wealth.
That's like 10 days.
So so how do you as a criteria decide who do you give money to and who you don't?
Okay, that's a really good question.
Or who do you help and who do you cut out and go? No, you're just after me. You don't give a fuck about me. You just like me now because I have money. Like how would you determine who would be the people in your life that you help, and who are the people in your life you go get fucked?
Okay, all right, you gonna start?
I'm gonna start it.
Yeah. Might as well just go around.
Okay. I would go with people I've actually spent time with. over the course of the last
Before
like
you
10
got
years.
the-
Yeah,
before
so
you
it's like
got-
before the money. It's like, okay, our friends group here, us guys here, as well as like Stefan, Sylvan, missing people, but yeah, it's like, okay, those guys I could definitely give some money to. Because it's like, you guys have been with me, you've been chilling, we're all cool. But yeah, if someone from high school shows up and they're like, oh hey buddy, remember when we used to hang out? I'd be like, nah, you're fucking gone.
So immediate friend group would be
Immediate friend group, immediate family, and a lot of cousins and aunts and uncles that I see every year. Like, the Christmas time.
Based on cousins that you like, or based on how much you see them?
I would try to do it
think it's a bit of both.
more on seeing. It seems like it's starting to get pretty mean, but
It any way you want.
and like I would set a limit. I'd be like, okay, each cousin gets say 10 grand or something like that, and we'll just limit at that. And some cousins are like, oh, I just bought a house, I need like 30,000. I'll be like, you get 10, like everyone else.
What if grandma's dying? 20,000 for the surgery.
Get fucked, grandma.
I'm kidding. That's it. You're right. Okay.
I'm gonna buy her a diamond encrusted
Okay.
coffin.
So your answer would say everyone who's been around you till this point.
Yeah,
And you'd even set a minimum for everybody, so you'd almost be like, hey, everyone gets the same amount, so no one's a favorite.
yes, exactly.
But then
It's
on that
set a
note, what
limit.
happens if the parents or family goes to like, we're your immediate family, I don't get another 5?
Oh, like they would get more than friends. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
families
there's,
would get- so
there's a
families
tier
get 20.
list. Oh, no, there's a tier.
Yeah, I
There's
wanna
a
get
tier
into it. There's a
list.
tier list. Tell me
Actually, among friends, there's a tier list too. Dan's on the bottom
That makes sense. I would give myself little because I'm going to steal it anyway.
because I'm afraid. No, I'd give you some so you don't murder me for it.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Well, no, if you give me enough though, I would have a taste for it because I'd be like, he has more, and naturally I want more, so I'd still murder you. It's not a question of
Could
that.
I buy you as a slave?
You could buy me out though, not a slave. I would never. Oh, I would never be a slave.
What's your buyout, hypothetically?
I would say whatever be enough to give me a couple footlongs of Subway.
That's pretty good.
If I can feed, clothe,
Wait,
and
that's like $20.
Oh, actually,
Baby.
not even that. If you just sent me cheap food continuously, I would be.
Let him become Jared from Subway.
Yeah.
Damn it.
so I
Okay.
give you an Uber
I'll
Eats
give
plan.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, no, hold on.
Okay, but anyways,
we're
so-
tangenting because then we gotta
Yeah,
go around.
okay,
so
that's
fair
fine.
enough. Okay, for yourself, Matt, how would you
How
decide?
do decide? So obviously, like, it'd be prioritizing, right? So I have a little bit of I'm gonna challenge your hypothetical bit.
Okay,
Because
I like this.
The way I would create it is I would create an entourage, just like in the show Entourage.
Nice.
So it's like all my closest friends and people that are loyal to me and I'm loyal to them would be. Well, obviously you're in it, honey. Ashley would be in a part of it.
Start getting worried.
Like,
didn't
if
you?
I'm being honest, like, I'd take care of Ashley and my parents and her parents
And the dog.
and my sister and her sisters first. That'd be my priority.
Yep.
Because they're the closest people to me, like, and directly with me. And then it would be my friends, like my closest friends. So everyone like that I've had really close relationships through my entire life would be taken care of, and that would be like essentially my entourage. Like that'd be. Like I would like honestly like be like, come like let's go somewhere cool like in BC and we're all gonna live there and we'll make a business together and
Fuck
we'll
yeah.
all have operation like we'll do kind of an operation where we all well, that's just a dream. Like, it's never gonna happen. But like
Don't laugh at a man's
okay.
dream.
The face Ashley
I
gave
know,
was
it sounds stupid, but that's what I would do. Like I'd be
like,
like,
what
we
the
can all
fuck?
do something. Well, yeah, because
I mean, it's better than
Actually,
here.
I would pick BC.
It's better than here.
I would go
yeah.
BC.
But like, it'd be cool because then it's like
I'd go
we're
Alabama.
doing something together, right? So like,
Me too.
Roll
we're
Tide.
all having success at that point. Like we can have our successes together instead of it just being like, well, I won 60 million and then I give you money.
Yeah.
It's like, no, come with me. Let's do this. I'll pay you a salary of this much. Let's work together and like let's just accomplish something really cool that we could do. So that's the first thing I would do. I find family is a tough one because like I find like cousins and aunts and uncles that could just ruin relationships.
Oh yeah.
And so, like, I would be very hesitant to share any of that. Like, I wouldn't be like, here's 10 grand cousin, here's 10 grand. One, I have too many cousins. Like, so that'd be like a shit ton of money right there. And then two, it's like, if they were in dire need of something, of course I'd cover them. Or like, if they asked, like, be like, yeah, I'll help you out, right? But, like, I'll only be like, I can only help you out this one time. Like, if you do this again, it's on you at this point.
That's fair.
And you can't, you
Almost
shouldn't
like a
hate-
Spider-Man. Everybody
You
gets
shouldn't
one.
hate your nephew for something because... like I bailed you out for your mortgage or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like I paid your house off, but then it's like, well, I redid it. Like did a redo of my house. I re-renovated it with it. And I took money off my house again. I can't afford it. It was like, well, that's your problem at this
Yeah, you
point.
fucking idiot.
I'm sorry, right? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's where I would prioritize it. Like I'd always want to have an entourage of people that I can trust, because I want people that are better at stuff than I am. Because I can't do everything, and I know I can't. So it's like find the people and do something together, it would just be a blast. Because then you're around them all the time.
That's it. No, fair enough. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's why I love that show. It's my favorite show in the world.
Dude, Entourage is great.
Because he just brings his three
He brings
closest friends.
Well, actually, Adam Sandler's pretty much that, isn't he?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Like Adam Sandler, like pretty much brought everyone
He does.
around him and went.
He really does. Like David Spade, like it's.
I gotta give him props for that.
But all those guys also like came up on their
I
own
know.
too, and
But they did, but at the same time, the loyalty there, I go.
Yeah, that's taking your friends
And
with
they're
you.
best friends. Like, you can tell they're all best friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
I have
She's
a
not bad.
Really? Well, now that you're halfway through.
Yeah, now that you're halfway through, it's getting better.
Living on a
with the
crack.
beer.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
getting better now.
I have a problem taking money already. So, like when you say, "Oh, I give like my cousins or give my friends money," it's like, well, do they need money? Like, if you win, are you just giving them like, here's a check for 10 grand, like
Yeah.
for no reason?
Mhm.
Is that's what that is?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think like that. Unless they're like, unless I know like before I won, like they were like, yeah, I'm like, you know,
They're
student.
struggling.
Okay, if all my friends had a bunch of student debt, I just pay that off as like a gift to them. I wouldn't just like cut them a check
Yeah.
and be like, here, like, for no reason. I would invest more like in experiences.
Yep.
Like if I won 60 million, obviously I'd buy a house here, probably buy a house in Hawaii, probably buy a house like in other cool places, and then just fly my friends out. That's how
Yeah.
I would share it.
That's awesome.
That's
fair.
like I wouldn't like they'd be cool to like start
You
a
let them
business.
enjoy it with
Yeah.
you, but you wouldn't
Well,
directly.
No,
it's
like
just
I'm not gonna
smart.
because and then obviously like I wouldn't give like my cousins anything like they don't fucking need it. Like
Yeah.
Well, like,
I don't know.
That's the thing. Like you were
My
saying,
parents won't need it.
I
like,
mentioned the business because then like I know you're good at cider, and then like we could all do something in a cidery or something like that, right? Like so it's like something we all kind of like and have fun with. We could do something like that. 'cause we
I
have
hate
money.
cider.
We love it. and you
okay,
know
man.
it.
I do actually. It's the one beer. I
But like
actually
yeah, so like that'd be cool to do business
Yeah.
together. But like I wouldn't just like start cutting checks for my friends.
No,
like,
no.
Like like so I won like whatever 60 million. I wouldn't just like go to Cody's
Matt,
house
you
and
hung out with me for
give
an
here's
hour.
a check for 100 grand.
Here's 10
Hope
grand.
you spend it wisely. Like no.
do. Yeah.
Hey Matt, you hung out with me for an hour. Here's 10 grand.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah. So and then obviously like people will come asking for money, but it's
Actually, I just wanted to add one more thing onto what I was thinking. I would also obviously invest a crap ton of it, like at least 50% of that money into like
Whatever stock. Or
GME.
well,
something.
not just stocks, but like just something like so like I get my money, like,
NFTs.
I'm growing my money.
so that's the tricky thing about stocks isn't you can only
Bitcoin.
invest so much.
No, I would
right?
just go funds. I think I would invest.
Oh,
in. Like,
just-
mostly
yeah.
like mutual funds and stuff like that.
Follow the market.
Yeah, and then even if I only get like 2% growth, off of,
That's
like,
a lot
30
of
million,
fucking
a shit
growth.
ton of money.
Yeah.
And then what I would do, I think this is actually smart, is every 4 years, I would then bring my families, like I take trips for my mom's side and my dad's side for a reunion to wherever, and then I'd pay for their flights and their accommodations, because then they're still getting something out of
Well,
it.
that's still just the experiences like you talked
Yeah,
about.
and it's an experience at that point, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm way more cool with that than just handing out the money.
Yeah,
you
it's
think so?
just
So
vacation.
here's another hypothetical. So you win all this money. Last week you were whatever you're at now. And now you're 60 million richer.
Yeah.
When you go out for dinner with like, your parents, are they gonna start looking at you automatically to pick up the check because you got more
Oh,
money?
yeah.
You think they?
Oh,
you
yeah.
think they would? Your parents would do that?
No, my parents wouldn't, but I would be like, well, obviously I'm picking up the check.
I would.
You just
out
like
of a
scoff
sense
at
of-
the idea
would-
of
I would-
anything
I would-
else paid.
Come on, Dad, pay for me.
Or like,
Yeah,
yeah.
Love me, Dad.
I wouldn't. I'd barely tell anybody. I don't think I would like.
No, you
Yeah,
try and hide it as
like
much
the first
as
thing
possible.
I think everyone would do here is probably just take care of their parents first.
Was I think there was some guy who like you have to. I think it was in the States. And it's like you have to show up to get the check or to claim it or something like
Yeah.
that, and he showed up in a mask.
Oh yeah, because
Because apparently you could do that.
They have
so
to, if you could win anonymously.
That's actually smart.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's
people
like
target you.
they're like you have to
Yeah.
physically be here, but
know
he's like,
what's-
but can
That's
I
like
wear
if
a
you
mask?
win a certain amount at a casino, they'll walk you out
You know
with
what's
security.
great? You know what's
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you know
That's
what's
cool.
crazy too is that if you win in the States, it gets taxed right away. Like
Yeah,
as soon as you win,
a big
but there's
chunk.
no tax here in Canada.
Yeah, that's one
That's why ours
bonus
is
we
smaller,
get.
crazy.
too.
Yeah.
because they have way better tax brackets in the States compared to
Fair enough.
Canada.
But like, there's some benefits here and there.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the
Seconds,
first
yeah.
hypothetical.
Okay.
What else you got?
Okay. So
He's just ready.
This is my brain 24/7. I'm not kidding you. So let's say you have a loved pet. I don't care whatever pet you would love the most.
Damn.
A loved pet. No. I'm saying
That's a lot of pressure.
I'm saying you have a pet that you love.
Yeah.
You have an animal you love, and I would say, let's say you have animal you love. You have a neighbor. Neighbor is known to be a drunk and is drunk driving one night, hits your animal, kills your animal. You know for a fact he was drunk when this happened. He did not get in trouble from the cops. No one knows about it because it's just a whatever animal he hit
Yeah.
it and then went in. But you saw it. how do you move forward?
Let's see what's worth of
That's a
pet.
hard one.
I like these questions.
That's actually a really difficult question to answer.
I would be probably very, very petty
Yep.
towards them for the rest. Like, I would watch their property, and for any kind of, like, violation to any bylaw,
Yep.
I'd call the city.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, you'd be like the neighborhood.
100%.
The what is it?
I'd be like the neighbor my parents have.
You
Yeah.
would try to make his life a living hell so
Oh,
that
yeah.
he would move.
That's fair. Okay.
And then I think that'd be one.
Because you can't do anything to the.
The hardest thing is you'd want justice.
You want justice?
Justice.
Like,
So, but
justice.
that's why the hypothetical
Like,
comes
I would
in.
fucking go slash his tires first. And then
Yeah,
I'd
but
fucking...
then you would get penalized for it.
You might not.
Well, he might not. I might
You
not
go in
get
the
it.
night.
You can do it in the middle of the
Yeah,
night.
you go in the nighttime.
I could follow him wherever
Yeah,
he
but you could
fucking
figure that
parks.
out pretty quick. You killed this guy's animal. All of a sudden,
Does
his
he
tires
know
is
that
off.
it
Yeah,
was your animal?
but-
He was drunk, probably not.
But at
Probably
the same time, I reported the cops that I saw him drinking and driving. He was swerving off of the...
They're not going to do
They
anything.
wouldn't do
I
it.
know, but that's the same thing if I go slash his tires and he goes, well, I just ran over his dog. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be the same thing. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
I'd
fair.
go fucking slash his tires. I'd beat I'd destroy his car.
No, would you beat the fuck out of him?
No.
I wouldn't. I
Don't
don't
do
think.
that.
I don't know if I'd beat the fuck.
Well, I mean, it would give you some satisfaction.
But I would go slash his tires and I'd just like I'd dent the fuck out of his car and not make it drivable. No, I'd be like, dude, you killed my fucking dog. I'd be like, fuck you. And if he was drunk driving, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? And especially if he doesn't say sorry or doesn't take any responsibility. If he just owned up to like, I ran over your dog, I'm really sorry. That's a little different.
Yeah,
So-
if he was a straw.
If he's a
No,
piece of
but I'm
shit.
saying the situation
You're
is.
saying he's a piece of shit.
I'm saying he's drunk.
Yeah.
He didn't know it was your animal. He just
Yeah.
hit something, went to his garage, and doesn't think anything of it.
So far, Harvey Dent, Batman.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Dan, I could just see Dan. He would burn that garage.
Well, see,
I know my answer. I know my answer.
and that's the thing is, because you said it's a pet you loved
Yes.
and you cared a lot about.
A lot
I'm
about.
trying to figure out how far is too far because I'm like, either cut his brakes on his
Holy
car
shit, that is very
versus like, mess with the gas line in his house. So at least burn down his house. Like I'm trying to find this fine line
fine
between.
line
I
of,
don't
like-
think I want to kill him, but I'm definitely fucking his
You
life
want to make
up.
this? Yeah.
So Harvey Dent, Batman, Ted Bundy.
I prefer the clown or Joker.
Oh God.
Chaos. Yeah, that would make sense.
Hmm.
What would you do?
If someone hit my pet that I loved, I would get revenge.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, you've gotten the revenge for much
I have.
for much smaller.
If someone was a drunk driver, so he's a drunk driver, I know him to be hit. This is actually no, I know exactly what I do. He's a drunk driver. I know him to be a drunk driver.
Yeah.
All I need is evidence to bury him.
Yeah.
Now, what I do is I know what he's done to me, and I know that the fact is he's a drunk driver, probably going to do it again. All I need to do is have surveillance set up around the neighborhood, or another option, which would be very easy, follow him, or put a camera anywhere around his vehicle.
Yeah.
Anything to record him. Illegal, I don't give a fuck. I need evidence. If I can get evidence that he's drunk driving, then I can get evidence that he's lied about drunk driving. Then I can use that as essentially more evidence to bury him. I want to get him into a jail. I want to get him to lose his career. I want him to get... I want his life, in a lot of ways, to be as terrible as mine is now.
In this
Yeah.
hypothetical situation, your only problem is you need the blood alcohol content.
Oh, yeah, I know. No,
You'd
are-
have to just contact
police.
police.
The cops.
Yeah.
You can report,
That's
but if he gets home and
True,
but
no.
Yeah.
This is why you follow him.
And-
You wait for him to go out to the
What if
bar.
what if
you
you
watch him drink, and then the second he leaves, you call the cops. Go, hey, I just saw this guy leave the
okay,
bar.
then you can say that.
But they have to catch him before he gets home, like you said.
But I
if
thought
he-
you meant like surveillance in front of your
So,
house and you.
What if he?
Oh no,
what
I
if-
would do that too, just to
What if
catch
you
him.
have
Like,
video footage though of him getting
good
out of
point,
the car?
you can't-
Is that-
you know,
that
it's
you
not
can't
enough.
prove that
you
he's
can
drunk.
literally. It's funny. A guy,
say he was tired.
a nurse or a husband of an ex-husband of a nurse told me he was an alcoholic. He used to drive always with 3 beers in the back of his truck. What he'd do is, if he ever got in an accident while drunk, he would immediately pop the beers and chug them. Pop, chug, pop, chug, pop, chug. Because then the cops, legal loophole, cannot prove you were drunk at the time of the accident. They can only prove you're drunk now, which they now see the 3 empty beer. You may have just drinking them. They have no way to prove it.
Yeah.
That's why he'd always, or like a case of 4 or 5, whatever it needs to get over the blood alcohol, and he chugged them. Just rip them back.
Because you just say, "Oh, I got the accident. I got so depressed, I started drinking."
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't matter. They cannot prove, and that's why he got so many fucking things thrown out.
That's pathetic.
100%. So no, but you are right, and no, Chris is right though. You'd have to get evidence. I would say I would monitor to know his routine, to know his routine, then I can follow him, and then I can get him when he's out at a bar and go,
What if
hey.
you just like stalk them? Like you just stand at their back window, like in the
Like,
scary movie.
well, there's
get
other
that
ways to,
mental
like,
warfare going.
get
There's
the-
other,
Yeah,
there's other
fuck
ways
'em
to
up.
fuck
mental
with him.
guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
All you need to do is every time he leaves, break in and like write cryptic messages.
Ashley, what would
When
you
he's
do?
fucking
What would you do if someone...
God, those
You're not on video,
faces.
they
I
can't
know,
see
but
you.
I know
She's
they
just
can't see you or anything,
disgusted
but, like,
with this whole situation.
I don't think that's like a fair question.
I would kill him.
because there's no justice in it.
I'd kill him.
They're if
I saw them run my dog over.
yeah, but it's your word against theirs.
Yeah, you can't prove that in the court of law.
Who else can back up your
you
claim?
need two people, right?
Oh, you need more than
corroborate
that.
the
Even
story.
two people is
But
not
but
enough
they
now.
don't know the story. They're literally it's his word
You
versus
need
yours.
physical
It
evidence.
it evens out. That's
You
fair.
know what I would actually do, Dan? I'd wait till he's in an alley with a hot dog, and then I'd use my repel system, and I'd go, "Where are the other dogs going?" and they'd be like, "I swear I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't swear to me." And that's what I do.
God.
Okay.
Matthew's levels just went off the
Yeah, no
chart.
kidding. Eh?
So, anyways, I'd kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I saw my neighbor
like-
once chase my cat out of my cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I was sitting in my car, he didn't know I was there. It was at night, and I saw Chris Brown, my cat, and my neighbor just sprinted off his driveway and just ran at my cat. And my cat was scared and ran.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Actually,
and he
you
didn't
know-
see me. And I was like, oh my god, this guy's such an asshole.
I have a scenario like that just
Just-
happened
He
recently.
came in my garage once, actually.
I'm not gonna.
Did he just hate your cat or what?
anything.
What?
Does he hate your cat?
He hates the cats. He's the one who calls like the city all the time, and
I won't say anything bad.
Man,
my
people.
dad got like fencing for our thing because the animal control showed up one day and gave my dad a ticket.
Oh.
What? Because
And-
your cat was out and about.
Yeah, because they don't like it.
Because cats definitely
and we knew,
don't do
he
that.
knew who it
Yeah.
was, and then my dad looked into the bylaw, and it said if you take reasonable efforts to keep your animals inside your property, but they get out anyway, it's not your fault. So then my dad was gonna take it to court, and then they got a notification, and they dropped it.
Nice.
Dude, once you get into court, everyone's like, oh,
But one
no.
time, just one quick story. This guy's such an asshole. So I had a fire in my backyard one time when my parents were gone to bound
Oh,
for
yeah,
something.
here
I was
we go.
home by myself, and we just burned whatever dead branches were in my backyard, and it created some ash or whatever. And I'm in my garage the next day, and he comes in there, and he's like, "Hey," which is weird. First of all, you're in my garage, dude. He's like, "What'd you burn last night?" I'm like, "I don't know, wood." He's like, "Well, the ashes got all over my boat cover,"
You're like, okay.
and I'm like, "You're only in here because my dad's not home." Because him and my dad do not like each other.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, you're such a fucking asshole.
I'd be
And
like,
also like a bit
your
of
boat
a, like, kind of
covered.
a bitch.
No,
Like,
it's
really?
kind of a bitch. Like, you come over here to bitch to me like his kid, but
Yeah.
you know because you're only here because he's not home.
Yeah, you're not a big enough man to come
Oh,
over.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
What do you want me to do about it?
You're like, I'm pretty sure your
I'm
boat
like-
cover got all over
I'm
my
like,
ash.
I'm like, I'm
buddy.
pretty sure that's the
I need
purpose of a
a-
boat cover.
Yeah.
I need a new boat cover. I'm like, fuck no.
And you're like, I need a dick job, but, you know,
Yeah.
we can't all get what we want.
Well, I actually have a scenario where, like, one of our dogs got really excited because we went somewhere, and then someone, like, she was a little too excited, and she ran, like, on top of a couch and kind of, like, knocked into someone.
Oh.
And then the next time, because she's so hyper, because she's
She's young.
Like, they're both
She's a
young.
puppy.
Yeah, they're both young, and the person, like, she jumped on there, and then a person grabbed her by the ear and then hit her on the back. And I saw that, and like I was pretty rattled at that point. So I wonder what would happen actually if someone hit my dog. I'd be pretty pissed.
Well, that's the
Like
thing.
I was
yeah.
already like pretty pissed. I was like, what the heck?
It's such a weird situation when someone
because it's
disciplines
like-
your dog.
That's
You're like,
actually a better hypothetical because that's the smoking gun. You saw them hit your dog,
Yeah.
right? And they know that you saw them,
okay,
Well,
fair enough.
and it's in your own like
Yeah.
say
Well,
your own
because
space.
I'm obviously like I didn't say anything. I wouldn't do that because it's like not the right place and time. That like and I don't know the person really. So
Okay.
it's like I'm not gonna create any kind of conflict or anything like that.
Why not?
But oh, it's just not the right place.
Be like, bitch, what are you doing?
Bitch,
I-
please.
Yeah,
Trust
like,
me,
pretty much.
I was thinking that in my head, but I'm not gonna say anything.
But they also have a little bit of reasonable on their side where you're like, your dog is
Yeah, she-
fucking insane right now. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough.
No,
No,
you have to know the situation. Like my dog is young
Yeah,
and puppy, right?
yeah,
Like,
but I
it's-
mean, that's
I
also a responsibility of the...
respond with the appropriate amount of force for the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you walk up and you're just like, hey,
But-
please don't do that, okay, that's
but
reasonable. If
there's
you
a
walk up
Or like grab
difference-
him, or like
There's a
bitch.
difference when you go and you yank and grab the ear and like pull her back and then hit her on the back like that, like really hard.
Ooh, okay,
That's,
that's a bit
you'd be
over
like, hey,
excessive.
like, what are you doing?
Or
Like,
push
no,
the
no.
scruff down or something.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so she went excessive.
Yeah,
Or they
I,
went
well, at least
excessive.
in my mind, it looked like that.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, then you know what? And then actually for that,
And it could have been a he. We
that's
don't
true.
know.
On the flip side, I
assumed
remember
a gender.
Yeah, you assumed something.
I was at the dog park with Riley, and Riley's a very she's a good dog, kind of bit of a diva, doesn't really want to have anything to do with the other dogs. No, she is. She likes to bark at them and then chase a little bit, chased, and then she's done with them. And
That's
it's
like
one.
pretty much every dog.
No, that's not every dog. A lot of dogs love to play for hours. She literally just goes, "Hey, are you a dog? Yeah. Okay, I'm done with you."
Oh, I know, but like, she likes to. That's her kind of like chase.
Oh,
and
yeah,
play.
no,
yeah, it's
but-
playing. It's
Yeah.
playing.
Well,
Yeah.
her version.
She's a tease.
She's a tease.
But there's a dog.
Ellie. Ellie's like that.
But there's a dog there, and when we went, bit Riley, bit her on the side, and Riley yipped, and I'm like, oh, and I got him between them, and I'm holding Riley back, and I'm trying to owner's here, casually walking up to his dog, and I'm shoving them aside, and he's like, and I remember I said something snippy to him. What did I say? Because I was pissed, because I'm like.
Yeah.
My dog is under control. Your dog isn't, and you're walking to this situation. I don't feel comfortable, punching your dog. But I'm like, if it comes again, I'm hitting it in the face.
Oh yeah.
It's biting my dog, or I'm kicking it or something.
Question.
Get away.
No question.
And so he comes up. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, man." I'm like, "Yeah, could you have gone any slower or something like that?" I'm like, "Could you have hurried up like that?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'd walk I was just pissed because I'm like, it's. I don't know. It's like your kid is having a tantrum and you're just going, yeah, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Be responsible for the thing you own. And he came up and he's so nonchalant, oh, sorry about that, man. I'm like, she just took a chunk out of my dog. That's not your dog barked and maybe snarled. No, your dog bit mine.
Everyone must have a different threshold for emotional responses when it comes to strangers. It's different when it's friends and family. Because one time a couple months ago, I was at the light at Boychuk and Rosewood Boulevard. You know that light?
Oh yeah.
Right? And there's this kid beside me, right? I think he was coming back from a high school football game because he's wearing his it was during the season, driving this 2004 Mustang, right? Little wider tires on the back. And I'm like, oh man, I was driving my dad's car and I'm like, okay, he's probably going to try,
Yeah.
He, first of all, missed a shift off the line.
Nice.
And then overcompensates and just hammers it to the floor.
Yeah.
And he probably gets up to 120 going down Boychuk. And for some reason, my blood just started to boil.
Yeah.
Right? And I ended up catching him at the light at the next one at Slimmin, or Naneben that turns into Slimmin and Boychuk. And for some reason, I stuck my head. He was in front of me. I stuck my head out of the car. And I said, "Oi," super loud. And he looked kind of out the car. And I was like, you're a fucking asshole, eh? I was just raged. He's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like,
very aware asshole.
And I said something along the lines of yeah, you take your fucking 2004 Mustang and fuck right off.
Nice.
Your car, you're pretty much saying your car is not that cool.
Yeah.
And you're not cool because the thing is A, this is my neighborhood.
Yeah.
B, my cat actually used to cross Boychuk all the time and go into where the dog park is, right? And I'm just and that just my blood started to boil and I had to say something. And even actually last weekend, I was picking up my sister and her boyfriend. That was after your place.
Yeah.
I went and picked them up from their Christmas party, and they wanted to get A&W, so we went to the A&W drive-thru. And the guy behind me was driving this Dodge Ram, clearly fucking hammered, right? And he almost rear-ended me 2 or 3 times in the line, and I was ready to get the fuck out of the car.
Yeah.
And then Madeline had to stop me. So my emotional response,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's really low because I'm not afraid to fucking.
That's not low. That's respectable.
Oh man, when I was in Nebraska.
Well, he's not fighting people.
You want to hear bitter and low? You play online video games with people that don't have good internet connections, and then you're they're the reason you clearly lost a match, and you have no idea how bitter you could be. Today, for example, I was playing this PvP online game, on Destiny, and it's you win 7 in a row, you get the special reward, you get the lighthouse kind of thing, but it's very difficult. We won 4 in a row easily. We're on our 5th match. I'm playing with this dude that I kind of play with sometimes, and I'm playing with another guy from the UK, and the guy's not very good, but we're making it work. We're playing a dog shit team because I can check their stats, and we should easily win. His connection goes, and he's not there for 4 rounds, and we lost 5-3 because we came back. We were down 4-1. We lost 5-3, and I had to reset my whole thing because I'm doing a special one where I have to win 7 in a row no matter what. There's no freebie kind of that you can get. And I'm like, fuck, man! We would have won if you didn't have a shitty connection. Yeah. And then it happened again. I'm like, I can't play with this guy anymore. Yeah. I was like, I can't, and I'm sorry, dude. I'm not trying to be an asshole. You're a good guy, but I want.
You're unreliable.
Well, because we were gonna go the way it was trajecting, it was like so easy for us to stomp people, and we were gonna win easily. But then it just ruined our vibe, and then we never got it.
I don't
you
think
and I have very different
Yeah,
frustrations.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like super pissed about a fucking internet connection, and you're like, it's so realistic for you to get pissed about someone who's drunk and about to hit your car, or someone who's going 120.
I hate injustices. Like I was at Meg's diner at like 1 o'clock one o'clock in the morning once, and there was a guy I went to high school with. I'll tell you who it was after. He was with these group of guys, right? And like all these, they looked like they should have been wearing sweaters over their necks, polo shirts and stuff like that. And this drunk girl wandered in, like, she's a little homely, right? And she kept coming up to their table, and they kept like, can you go away? And, she's harmless, right? And one of the guys gets up, full on, just pushes her, and her head bounces off the ground.
Okay.
And I was just like, I was sitting there, like, my fists were just clenched. And then I was like, I'm gonna fucking say something. And then the people there called the cops. The cops came, and we're talking to some of the guys. And as I was leaving, I did this. As I was walking, the guy who pushed her, I went like this. I was just like, if those cops weren't here, I would beat the fucking shit out of you. Like,
I like that.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you picked it up on the mic, or whatever, but I was just boiling.
Livid. Yeah.
I was boiling. I looked at the guy too, who we went to high school. So he knew who I was, and I just walked out.
Yeah.
Because you could have fucking killed her.
Yeah, because you're being a
because
dick.
because you're a dick, right?
Yeah.
Oh
wow.
That shit just fucking.
I get that, man.
Maybe I get agitated too easy.
That's a hard thing. It's like where you say like sometimes you like see someone fall and then you're like, do I help them up, or like it's just weird, like how like random people you don't know, they're in like a trouble situation. It's like you like debate with yourself, like, should I do that? Like, should I do the good action? Like, or should I help? Or are they okay and they don't want me to help?
Yeah.
But like in a scenario like that, like it's so hard not to say like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, because you're like in your head, you're like, that's completely unacceptable what you did. But then like, if you're the only guy there too, it's very dangerous compared to like if there's 5 guys too. Like you're like, I don't know if I should say something.
Oh, I don't.
But then someone did the right thing and called the cops, right?
Well, the employee
or
and the staff did.
You would have fucking called the cops at that point too. Like you would.
I knew the staff was calling the cops, and then the cops showed up. But
that's a different scenario. So
I had a girl once cry. We were in line. This is almost 10 years ago. We're at the Odeon, waiting in line to get into a concert, and there's a girl in front of us, and her like shitty ex-boyfriend showed up and started just like. They were like getting into some kind of like quiet conflict at first. Like he was like, like getting really mad, and he started tearing at her purse, and she was screaming for help. And I'm like, she like the distance between you and I, Rheal.
Yeah.
That's where she was, and she's looking right at me, screaming for help. And I'm like, I don't know this guy. He looks fucking sketchy.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one fights fair. If I try to tell him to back off, he could pull out a knife and fucking kill me, right? Yeah. And then eventually I was just like, fuck. So I just went to the front of the line, and I think I got a bouncer, and I was like, you need to fucking deal with this. And then this guy. This bouncer came and just put him in a headlock, and this guy turned around and took a swing at him. And then he missed, and then this guy just got fucking pummeled to the ground.
Oh,
the bouncer just laid him out?
Laid him out. Nice. But, like, see, that's the thing, though. Those are different.
But that's a smart reaction.
But the thing is, you're in a lineup, like a huge lineup, and this girl is screaming for help, and no one is doing anything.
That's a fucking...
That's society nowadays, though.
No, but I actually would almost argue that you could say that, but there's a lot of situations where the second something happens... Usually, especially if it's women, I find at least more often than not, now that everything's recorded, people jump.
Yeah, but
they jump.
Dan, the thing is, like...
No, you're right, in that situation,
but probably none of the 10 people, like, if there was 10 people that were there, like, to help, 9 of the 10 probably thought the same thing. This guy could have a knife on him or something like that.
And they probably just
it was also it was a lights concert, so so the people going there are
not the most macho.
So he's actually like this skinny twig of a guy who was yelling.
But that's smart though, because you're like, you know what, I want to help, but he could have anything on him, and as much as I want to help, I'm not gonna die.
And plus, there's someone being paid to deal with this shit.
You let him deal with it.
And usually bouncers are pretty good at that.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Like that's like anything. Like I think you have to have common sense too. Like because there's buddies that like we all like. I know some guys. No matter what, you go to a bar with them, they're gonna get in a fight. They do something stupid that you want, like they're looking for it. They're looking to get in a fight, right?
Yeah.
God, those are the worst people.
I'm not gonna help you. I'm not backing you up.
Yeah.
Like you're that stupid to get in a fight. You can go deal with it. You know, like I've always been like that. But I'm like,
you start a fight in a bar, you're just asking to get your like at Outlaw. Some guy tried to start a fight with me, and I'm like, no way, because if I take one swing or you take a swing at me, bouncers will be here in 2 seconds, and that gives them free range to do anything they want.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not risking like me to get hurt for some stupid action my friend did where he deserves to.
If he's an idiot, he
get
gonna
beaten too, right? Now there's a different story where it's like there's 3 guys on one guy, and you try to go grab him and say like calm the fuck down, like whoa, we gotta stop, right? Or something kind of crazy happens. But I've never been an actual part of a fight because I'm never gonna try to fight someone just for the sake of fighting. Anyway, we should go back to the hypotheticals.
That's fine.
Actually, I was kind of thinking. And I was thinking more with the guy in the
on top,
Mustang
I
and
know
all that.
The what? Sorry.
The guy with the Mustang in your story.
Yeah.
Where it's different people have different things that they're passionate about and care about. Where it's like, if I saw the guy in the Mustang, I would see him
She
do
can
a
get away
buck
with
20
it,
on
though,
boy
for
check
the
and be like,
most
huh, whatever.
She can
Yeah,
get
what
away
an
with it.
idiot.
Because I don't have the cat that travels that area that could get hit. I don't
Yeah.
care
So
about.
he has more of a personal.
I don't have.
attachment.
I don't care about the kids that are walking and might get hit. Like whatever, they did their thing.
I have a well. I have a,
They can get away with it.
But it's just like I see that and I'm just like, well, you're an idiot.
I just have a
Whatever.
problem with people who think that the rules don't apply to them. Like it irks me when I see people who will go 90 in a construction zone.
Yeah.
It's like these are construction zones for a reason because people are working,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that pisses
That
me off.
pisses
That's
me
a huge
off.
pet peeve
See,
for me.
yeah.
Because it's
So-
like, dude, someone's
it's like-
riding my ass. I'm like, I'm going 58 because it's a 60 zone. Why the
There's
fuck
construction
are you riding my
workers.
ass?
Actually,
and it clearly
yeah.
doesn't state that it ends. And they go
Yeah,
zooming
yeah.
past you, and it's like 120. Like,
It's like,
dude,
what are you
you're in the
doing?
construction zone.
Yeah.
Or
You
like,
kill
yeah,
someone.
like
You
even
kill
on the
someone.
I don't know if I talked on the Disney episode, I was talking about how just Americans just don't wear masks, and like it would just piss me off so much. I think maybe because my mom gets so heated that like I feel heated, and I was like, man, everyone who I see who doesn't have a mask, I should go up to them and be like, hey, like can I get a picture with you? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, like. You seem like a really cool person. I guess the rules just don't apply to you. Like, I want to get a picture with you, right? And then
Nice.
they
Or go up and
just-
sneeze
You
in
know
their
what?
face.
Yeah.
'Cause it
Or I'd be
is-
like, can I get a shot with you? I just want to get one before you die of COVID, but like, can I just get a selfie?
Yeah.
It's a respecting. That's all.
Like
it
you
is.
must be above the law.
It's respecting when you're going like
Or got to,
you're following the speed limit in a construction zone. It's respecting when you're wearing a mask even though you might not want to because you're not trying to get anyone else sick.
Yeah.
You know, like those are respecting.
it's not going out to social places when you should be staying indoors.
Okay. I don't want to admit to anything
I'm
on a
not gonna bring
podcast,
that
but
up.
it's
I'm
like,
gonna leave
that-
that.
but that's where I say people have.
It was legal at the time, so fuck you.
Hey,
There's
I'm
a
just saying,
difference.
before cocaine was made illegal, it's pretty sweet.
It was in Coke.
It's always been illegal.
I know.
What are you talking about?
It was in
It was not
Coca-Cola.
originally legal.
Oh, was it?
Doctors
No, it was using
prescribed it.
medication
It was
all
it was
over.
an anesthetic.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
used all over.
Okay,
Sometimes it
whatever.
still is.
Coca-Cola actually had Coke in it, yeah.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, it's never.
No, you're right.
legal,
Fair
so
enough.
it's
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
But that's what I'm saying is people have different things that they care more about. Where it's like you're saying the construction zone. It's like okay, there could be the guy doing the buck 20 in construction, like you fucking idiot. It's been over for a mile,
Yeah.
but then you do something where like you're talking on the cell phone while you're ordering a sub at Subway, and the guy looks at you like, "Have some fucking respect, you piece of shit! Like this worker's trying to do
That's
your order."
different. That's
No,
that's
no,
a
I know
little
that's
too-
different. I
get
know
it.
that's
Yeah,
different,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's just like he cares about one thing that you might be like, whatever, it's not a big deal.
The other thing is, like, I know you can say those things, but it was one legal to do.
What are you talking about now?
Like, because you were gonna make fun of me for like going out to a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, because it's,
Oh.
it's slightly
Yeah,
hypocritical.
but it's not hypocritical because I was allowed to do it and I followed the rules. There's
Yeah.
a difference if I didn't follow the rules when it was legal.
True.
So
But
I
it was,
wore a
it, was
mask,
an, it was an
whatever.
unnecessary thing you had to go every weekend, every night.
We went to the pub to get some food. Like it was just a routine.
Yeah.
for us.
That's fine.
It's rich.
I will not see eye to eye with
It's
this. I'm
Simon's.
not. Yeah.
See,
Pardon me?
a thing you care.
Yeah, he's being a hater
Yes.
about Simons.
No, I'm being a hater in the sense that
See,
when
but-
I worked in the
but-
hospital on the COVID unit,
Yeah,
I saw
But Dan-
people all the time come in, and I just thought you wouldn't have to be here if everyone followed the rules.
but I was following the rules. That's the thing.
I know.
I'm
I
not
just-
following the rules.
No, you
If
are
they
right.
told
No,
me
you are
not
right.
to
You
go to
never
the
did.
restaurant, I
No,
wouldn't have
you
went
are
to
right.
the restaurant.
No, you did. You
I
never.
didn't go to a bar or anything. I went to a restaurant.
You never did anything illegal, but
Yeah.
you did, but from my point of view was
I wore a mask.
if people didn't go out, they don't need to go out. Why are you going out? It was my.
But that's-
Because we were stuck in nothing for
That's
9
fine.
months. That's why I went out.
But
because
no,
I was
but
tired of being stuck.
that's fair. But no, it's like Ray
Yeah.
says though. Like my view on it is skewed. It is because I worked the hospital unit.
That's why it's hard to
Exactly.
find a
So-
balance because you can't keep
I
shutting down the
I
economy.
can't make that
Yeah,
bridge.
and
I
that's a
underst-
big part of it too.
And I guess the thing is, I
Yeah.
understand the logic.
I get
and
it.
I understand it, and like I can sympathize. I personally don't like it, but I also know that not everyone else works in the unit that I work.
Like,
that wouldn't make
don't,
sense.
Don't get me wrong. Like your sacrifice is still greater than my sacrifice.
I don't fucking
Where-
sacrifice anything.
Well, yeah, you put your.
Is
well,
you- okay, so
you're in a COVID ward. Like,
Yeah,
that's still
true,
a
but-
risk,
yeah,
man. Like,
okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Like,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm just staying in my house like I'm told to do. That's all I'm saying. No. I'm just trying to say a good thing. Like I'm trying to compliment him. Let me finish.
I like it. Hey, no, I like it. He's passionate.
No,
Say it.
Okay, no,
Bring
we
some passion.
understand where both of you are now coming from. But has
You can let
has
it
your perspective now changed? Because most people they don't like
It
talk
has.
they don't
It
talk
has.
about this because now people who are in ICU for COVID are the ones who are not vaccinated.
I know, and I have no sympathy for them.
No.
They deserve everything that comes.
That's
to them.
that's a different thing.
No, you're right. My perspective's
Like,
changed more now. Where I go,
don't
you
get
know
me
what? No, and here, let me finish and I'll
Yeah.
let you. But my biggest thing is that, like, I come from a very skewed perspective, and I know that.
Yeah,
I come from a perspective, I'm introverted, so staying by myself is super easy. And I realized halfway through, I'm like, okay, it's not fair for me to put the same judgment on others that I would on myself. Because if it was, I guess the thing is that originally, I was judging everyone like they were me. And I went,
Yeah.
why the fuck, Dan, are you going out? You work the unit. You're also an introvert. You don't need to go out. And then it took me until halfway through to be like, hey, not everyone's introverted. Some people, I know you're extroverted.
Yeah.
You get energy from other people. So for me, it's not fair to say you can't go out because that's how you get energy. I get energy by myself. Shit. I make it all the time.
But like,
So it's like no, but so it makes 100% sense. So I understand that I'm skewed in that, and so you are right. Like beginning of the pandemic, I was a crab, and I fully admit that because I thought, why are all you assholes going out when you don't need to be out? You're just going out because you're selfish and you want to have a good time. And I know now it's skewed because it's
Yeah.
not real. That's to me.
Yeah.
But it's like if you work in the COVID unit and you were doing that, I would be pissed and for good reason. Because
Yeah.
now you work in a unit, you have a good chance of having COVID, very good chance
Yeah,
of having
for
COVID,
sure.
and now you're spreading it. That would be different. But no, you're right. You followed the rules.
like I said, if I wasn't following the rules, I
Yep.
totally understand. But I was following what
Yeah.
was guided, like the guidelines that were given to me.
I'm just fucking done with
But
it.
it was like 6. No, I get it though because
want it
you're
over with.
dealing with a shit ton of people that are. It's overwhelming when you
And
have,
people are idiots.
when you're hospital. Like the ward is overwhelmed with people
It
that are
is.
sick. Like it's a shitty situation, man. And you're dealing with people like, oh yeah, I went to a party. There was 40 people, but it's like, dude, it was never allowed for.
Yeah,
why
and
the
it's
fuck
like,
you go?
I have to take up a hospital bed. Sorry, this other guy came in with a critical illness, but fuck it, buddy, I had to go to that rager.
Or someone who needed to get a heart transplant, but sorry, we had to cancel because we can't.
Yeah, because this COVID guy came in.
Yeah.
And again, you're right. So it's
Yeah.
I know
Because
my
it's not
perspective
even-
is skewed, and
it's
I can
not
accept
even
that.
just that, like, this guy took that bed. It's this. Now the heart surgeon might be has COVID because there's way more people there.
A lot of it.
And
It all
you know what I
ties
mean?
in.
Like it all ties in, so it affects other people,
Yep.
and it's selfishness. I get it.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, from my defense, like I was following the guidelines.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Also, I
But
realized
I can
before we get
understand.
defamed, before we get demarked again for COVID misinformation.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Stefan.
Yeah.
COVID is real. Take precautions.
No, but
wear a
like-
mask.
but-
social
but then-
distance.
but
Get
we
your
can't
vaccine.
I want to get
Get
back to the
vaccinated.
point, and we're talking.
Covering.
But we're talking about
Covering
like
our bases.
Hypotheticals.
Yeah, but you were talking about like not maybe emotional maturity or whatever, right? You're like maybe I just don't have enough. I'm getting angry, and I think that I'll piggyback. No, but no, that's originally what Christian
Yes.
said. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my
I'm trying to
emotional
think.
intelligence.
Yeah.
No, but I don't think it is. What I think it is.
Emotional threshold.
Oh,
Like
fair enough.
a threshold.
I guess fair.
Because you said emotional maturity. I'm like, maybe
Or I said it might be intelligence, like the way you can handle your emotions. I don't know.
emotional regulation.
Meh. Same. It does same thing. But like the way that I think about it, and like you tied on it, it's what are you close to? What are your values? So like for you, it's a value of fairness, and it's a value of also it's a humanity thing. Like you just pushed a lady and she hit her head on the ground. You fucking dick. Like
Yeah.
And you can't. And the anger rises because you're like, how dare you do that to
Yeah.
someone else? So you know where your value lies. It's like if someone else does something to another human being, it's like that I will
The
not.
question
allow.
that I always ask myself when it comes, because these are all idiots, is what makes it necessary to do what you just did?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
the part where it's
What,
like,
why did you need to do it? No,
Yeah.
that's fair. And like everyone, right? Like for example, you wouldn't care like the street thing. You're like, I don't really give a shit. You're speeding, dumbass. But for you, it makes sense. You're like, I live here, you asshole. My cat is out here. You could have just ran it over.
Yeah.
And then so your mind goes, how dare you do this? And like, and I get that. Everyone has their own thing. And like, I'm.
Or also because it makes people with the car community because people who actually are in the car community and like cars and
Are
part
not
of that
like-
or do not act like that, and it makes
No.
them look bad.
Yeah.
There's a difference when you're on an empty highway going 150 or like 200. Like that's a different scenario than
It's
going.
still stupid, but
Still
it's
stupid,
like,
but
It's
yeah.
so stupid. At least you're on an empty double lane highway.
But
compared
obviously
And if
to-
you kill yourself, it's just you.
yeah,
like
yeah.
what
yeah.
like or if because obviously this kid he doesn't know how to drive his car properly.
No.
So what if he skipped a curb and he went
into
on
oncoming
traffic and
Yeah.
killed
killed
some
someone.
mom and her kids?
Yeah.
Like that's because you're gonna lose control of your car because you're stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that like that's the difference. Like,
That's how my mind goes. I think that's how.
well,
It's,
and that's
That's
why
fair.
I find like it's courageous. Like, that's where someone like Stefan I really appreciate because he's willing to do that stuff all the time. Like, hey man, like what the fuck are you doing? Or like he's willing to do the call outs. Or maybe I don't have that courage or this or that. He just goes balls to the wall and goes, "Fuck you! What you're doing is wrong." And he's right about
Is there a
it.
story like that?
Oh, there's a lot.
Is there? Can you tell
He's
like one
willing to
small
call
one? I want to
people
know.
out.
I've just heard of Stefan getting in fights at the bar because he's like, this guy's being an idiot, and no one else is saying anything.
Is that
but
while
I'm
he's
gonna.
intoxicated though?
I mean, it's a part of it.
No, but he would do that even if he's sober. I know he
would, yes.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a situation where it changes.
But then that could also tie into it's a good thing. It is a good thing to stand up for yourself. But then there's also the other side. If you pick unnecessary fights, what happens if the guy at the bar being a dick has been off his meds and is like depressed or is psychotic or on a mania, and you come up to him and he goes, "I'm gonna fucking stab you."
yeah.
Right? Like all of a sudden you get stabbed because some guy told said a racist thing to someone else at the bar. I'm not saying you should tolerate it, and it is right to be like, but you don't have to always be the people's hero. And I think that's the kicker, right? You have to pick the moments because there's times like in that lineup, what happens if you go in and right you go to break it up because that is what a good person would do, but then all of a sudden he turns around and fucking socks you with the back of a pistol or something and then takes a shot. Or whatever, anything can happen.
That's
But
what I mean.
maybe
just
that
gotta sound-
hero
yeah.
saves other people's lives.
You're right. I guess the kicker is though, don't pick. You don't want to. You want to be someone who stands up for yourself or stands up for what's right. But you also want to be someone that's not an idiot and foolhardy and going, I'm going to run into this group of 5 men and tell them they should not act that way.
Oh yeah.
Like,
The difference was like,
Yeah.
if I didn't have that kind of decision making, I would have just like stepped in.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's
You
about.
don't-
I don't know what this is
and that's
about.
the brain going.
But this is
right?
like not okay. Whatever's happening, so that guy can deal with it.
Well, it's like-
He's
it's
also way bigger than me, so like,
It's a
That's
protect-
smart,
so
though.
deal with
It's
it.
just-
The situation was handled.
You're-
No one got hurt.
Your brain is protecting you. It's
Yeah.
like at that point, it's like, hey man, like just letting you know, like this should protect yourself too, like
Yeah.
But I mean, like the situation like you said, I respect it though because like I think this week in Michigan or something like that. No, I'm being honest. Like it was in Michigan. There was a high school shooting where
Oh,
a
yeah,
guy
that
killed
one, yeah.
3 kids.
Again.
But one of them was a football player, and he actually tackled the guy.
I saw that.
And
Bro.
he died. But like he saved people because
And when
like,
heroes
he killed 3
save
people, but he probably
us.
would have killed like, at least 6. Like or at least
wait, the
injured
guy,
more.
the football player who tackled him died.
Yeah, he got shot.
Oh, really?
Like he
Got
went to
shot.
tackle him as
so
he
then,
tackled
how
him,
did
he
he
got
get
shot.
So then, did that stop him also from?
It stopped him, I think, after because he had already killed 2 other people. I think.
shit.
I could be wrong. I could be.
Or
missing
even just
something.
delayed it enough
He
for the
delayed
police to
enough
show
for
up.
someone else
You know what? It
to go
doesn't
out
even
there.
matter the fact that he was willing to do it.
Yeah,
And you're right, and
That's
then-
all you
Oh.
need, like for someone who's a true hero.
But then, the one thing is, and I do agree, there's situations where that is a situation where, fuck yeah, good for him, good on him. We should praise people like that. On the flip side, though, not flip side. That sounds like I'm like saying it's a bad thing to do that. But then you look at stores like 7-Eleven, and they go, we have literally a policy called "Don't be like no hero" or "Don't
Yeah.
be hero." It's
yeah.
you give them the register because that $200 whatever is there is
It's-
not worth your life.
No.
Yeah, no,
But
for
like
sure.
in his situation, that's different.
completely
He's-
different.
That's way
Because
different.
He could
yeah.
be close with 20 people in that classroom,
Yeah.
where he's loves all those people that he's willing to give his life up to save all those other people.
Yeah.
Which he did.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
like, well,
Even if in the act, like 2 other people, let's say he was the first to die, he was the first one to act on it, and he saved probably more lives than what happened.
Yeah.
And he is a hero. And,
Those are the situations where the assailant
yeah.
doesn't want anything except carnage, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but if it's a 7-Eleven, all they just want the money. So
Yeah,
just
it's
let them
different.
fucking
You're
take
right.
the
You're
money.
right. It's
Yeah.
different.
Right.
Yeah, they're not
circumstance.
they're not
But, like,
intending to
That
kill
guy
anybody.
was looking to massacre people.
So yeah, then you got to step in because he's not going to stop until
Yeah.
everyone's dead. So
And I think
Different
the parents,
objectives.
Parents actually got
Yeah.
charged too, hey?
Yeah.
Like,
I
they
don't know
got-
if I agree with
for
that though.
manslaughter.
Like I understand that they're
he
very
was a student.
So he was a
He
student.
grabbed their
14
weapons,
years old,
mom and dad's
he
weapons or
killed
whatever.
Okay, so
people.
the part that confuses me is I don't know if they
I could
bought.
be inaccurate on that. I'm sorry.
No,
Whatever
it's-
age he was young. He was in.
Oh, he was in
teens.
high school.
He
Like,
was in teens.
He was in high school.
That's all
The
I know.
problem is they had found evidence. Like he wrote a note that said it was like a guy with a gun shooting at a high school, saying these thoughts won't get out of my head. And the school said, "Hey parents, we're concerned about this. Take him out of school." And they said, "No, he's good." And then the day it happened, the mom texted him saying, "Hey, don't do it." And the part I'm confused
they're
about.
complicit to
The part I'm confused about is it says they bought him a gun, but it also says they just owned a gun and it wasn't safely secured, like it wasn't locked.
Well, then
it was
they're
a,
liable.
charged.
wait,
they're liable.
but this is the part I don't know about. Because if they bought him a gun, then yes, they are liable as part of accessory to murder.
But if they don't,
But if they didn't buy a gun and it was just insecurely stored,
they're still liable.
I don't
They're
agree
still
with
liable.
charging
I
them.
agree. No, I
because
would
it's a
char-
child,
I
it's a
would-
minor.
Yeah, dude, I would have completely agree with
If
charging them.
but the thing that it's always
Because it's a
but it's
minor.
always the adult.
Dude.
If it was an adult,
True.
it's a
If it was an
different
adult,
story.
if it was
he's
an
a
adult.
minor.
If you know your kid has thoughts about killing people,
You're gonna secure your fucking
and
gun.
Yes,
Yeah.
you would put it in a safe that he doesn't go
Okay,
to. Besides your toolbox,
Okay.
it's underneath your bed.
Quick,
Like,
quick side note, and I don't know if this is coincidental, It was funny, and like I know it sounds morbid, but I remember immediately like this
Can't
was
drink
like
anymore of this.
like this was me.
Is it bad?
I just like it's too much.
This
Yeah.
was this was me like right when I was at the beginning of my depression.
Nothing's
And it was funny because I remember immediately, and I don't know if it was like coincidental, but I remember because when I was, well, if I'll wait for them to do their thing, Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, we're doing it.
Going.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it warm?
This is gonna be a long podcast. Let's just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
dude,
thank
keep
you,
going.
friend. But it was funny because when I was first diagnosed, my parents obviously like they don't know about it. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I remember very distinctly. I knew where my dad's shotgun was before. Afterwards, he'd moved it. And I thought to myself, I'm like, to be fair,
That's smart.
responsible,
That's
very
good on
That's
you.
Very
actually
good.
super smart.
And I thought about that, and like, it
Talk
took
about
me-
jumping to
Dan,
conclusions.
I
No, but it
know.
took, no, but
I mean,
didn't
that's
realize, I
funny.
didn't realize that until way later on. I'm like, wait a second.
You know what's funny? I honestly wouldn't have thought of that though either. That's really smart.
My
That's
dad-
very smart.
My parents are not dumb, and it was funny. Another time,
But just think of being the dad where you're like, I have to move my shotgun.
Yeah.
well, and also the fact that like, yeah, because I remember we all knew where it was, and
there's good
and
reason.
and you know how I knew because there's a porcupine in the lot.
I was just gonna say though,
Uh.
you also have good reason to have a shotgun because you live on an acreage where there's land and other shit.
Yeah.
coyotes and shit
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I do think like what would end up actually no he doesn't own he owns no guns anymore. That was it. I think he had it for a little while and then it was gone.
You know what? My dad owns guns, but he doesn't own ammo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, either way. Well, okay. So, but he moved. The shotgun was moved,
Well,
and then
they're
another
like-
time.
They're like one's like a Winchester repeater
Yeah.
from the like.
Oh,
West.
it's like relics.
Just don't-
And then he's got like a shotgun, but like, fuck, I'm not gonna go get shotgun bullets or anything. So I don't even know
could.
where it is anymore though either. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he moved that, and then the other. I thought was kind of funny. So shotgun was moved. That was gone, and then another one I realized even closer to the date, and I remember this so distinctly. I remember the like we had a cupboard, we had a closet for all cleaning shit, everything, vacuums, fucking everything. All of a sudden, bleach is gone. The bleach is gone, and we've used bleach before. Like we would like because my mom like we come from a medical community.
Yeah.
Bleach is the shit. You don't like it, but it does its job very
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
So like naturally, my mom would have it. Like we didn't use it that much, but I remember shotgun went missing, bleach was gone.
They actually moved the bleach.
100%. Like, well, think of it this way, and like the way I think about it, and it may not have actually been that. It may have just been a coincidence, but
Yeah.
I just thought after I'm like, we used to have bleach in the main closet, and we don't. And we used to have a shotgun downstairs, now we don't. And then another thing, so another actually moment, and I realized, I had a brief moment where like I've seen my mom in this mode one time in my entire life, and it terrified me.
Yeah.
I've seen my mom go into mom nursing mode, like we've been driving, a car was turned upside down and on fire, and she
Holy
literally,
shit.
mom didn't skip a beat, parked, got out of the park, ran in, said, "Stay in the car," like yelled at us,
Yeah.
ran in, like I'm a nurse, I'm the most medically responsible here, jumped in, started doing her shit immediately, like nothing, nothing, doesn't phase her. And she got back in the car, and like we're on the way, and we're like singing things on the way to the lake. She like didn't even phase her. That's part of her job.
Wow.
One time, so my one buddy comes over, and I won't say names because again you don't want to.
Yeah.
But he struggled with seizures, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
came over, and I remember, and it was actually really ironic because in nursing we literally the week before had a big lab on seizures and how to deal with a seizure, and if it's tonic-clonic and timing it and making sure that you have a safe place for the head and all that, right? And never try to get in that mouth; those fingers are coming off. So anyway, right? So. He goes and I remember the signs, and it was similar to the video. He's like, I don't know, I've been having deja vu all day, and and he went like this, and he started going back like this, like everything's strained, and I went in a moment, went fuck, and then like it kicked in, I'm like, and then like I had another guy there, Taylor. I had Taylor there, and Taylor starts kind of like freaking out a little bit, and I remember, and I was at least proud of myself for this. I kept my head. I'm like, Taylor, inside the house now, 911.
Yeah.
He goes inside. So he falls. I catch him as he's falling out because he goes and like goes back, and he
that's
comes
scary
down, and
shit.
he's on the ground going like this, like
Yeah.
and clenched. Everything's clenched, right? And there's some blood out of his mouth. He's bitten his tongue, and I'm just sitting there, and like, and then Taylor comes out. He's like, I called him. What do you want now? I'm like, give me a pillow now. I'm like, give me a pillow. Get to the edge of the lane. Watch the ambulance.
Yeah.
So he comes in, gets the pill, and ambulance comes. They come in. Immediately, I tell them what happened. I'm like, hey, he's been tonic-clonic, and I'm like, I didn't time it, but like 2 minutes ago, it's happened. And anyway, so they get him inside. They get him on the couch. After he stops, he's like this. And because if you think about it, it's the most intense workout you've ever had in your entire life.
Yeah.
And he's exhausted. So and pretty much down.
Yeah.
So ambulance in the yard. This is not too long after my depression diagnosis. I've been left at the house by myself. My mom comes home.
Shit.
And I remember even previously, like, cause they know I haven't been doing well, and like I've been dressing shittily. But you know what I mean? Like it's different. I'm dressing shitty, but I'm happy. But like so they were noticing signs, and then my mom came in. I will never, for the life of me, forget the look on her face when she came in. Like she thought it was me, right? She thought I'd killed myself or I'd done something to myself. And that moment of like my mom coming in and like I'll never forget that face. It terrified me.
Was it like a panic face?
Oh, it was everything. Yeah. I can't even explain it. It was everything. It was it was distraught. It was everything. And she came in and because like she looked at me and said, "It's not me, it's him." And just in an instant, like it was like she won the lottery. It was fun. And I don't actually know how we got into this tangent, but regardless, and I remember that was a moment for me where it was. I don't actually even know how we got into this, but yeah, it was fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Because it's Yeah, or it's the thought that like
you were saying like how you can react to something and like.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you're right, and that's why she came in. She saw the ambulance. She went from 0 to 100, and I've never seen my mom not be able to handle something. And she came in, and if it was not me going, "I'm fine,"
Yeah.
it's terrifying though. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like when and she has that connection too, and also the fact that she's nursing. I have to admit, I think why a lot of that stuff was gone because she's nursing.
Yeah.
She knows mental health, at least to an extent. She knows the chances are, like, if you're suicidal, bleach, get it out of there. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna, like, we didn't have Tide Pods, but, you know.
I was gonna say time.
Get that dish detergent. I got in the challenge. Like,
I remember, like,
microwave gone.
It's funny, like, and it's kind of cool, like, how people react to things differently. Because, like, someone, like, my mom is completely different from someone like my dad. Where, like, this one was say, sorry. I know.
You can't say that today's day and age.
Sorry, give me a break.
Can't say that today's day and age.
I'm gonna give you a scenario though. It's like I was like working with Rheal, and then that like a night came. I was completely fine. Like I looked normal. I felt normal all day.
Oh, this one.
And then at like 9 o'clock at night, I
God.
like checked my Apple Watch because I was like something feels really off right now. I don't feel good. And I look at my heart rate on my watch. It's like 186. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, am I having a heart attack or something? So I go down to like the hotel lobby because I'm in North Alfred.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you know where the hospital is? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, can you just give me directions? Because like, I don't know if I'm having a heart attack or whatever, but like my heart rate's really crazy right now. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm just having an anxiety attack, but you know,
no.
I just want to go to the hospital double check. And then she's like, I'm just gonna call an ambulance. I was like,
Okay.
okay. So I just like go to my room, get my phone, like contact my parents.
Smart.
So my dad is obviously like got anxiety too, so like he's very worried about the situation. Where my mom was like, "I think you're fine," and then like once like my heart because my heart rate starts to go down, like it went from 180 to like 140 when the ambulance came because I was starting to calm down. Like, hey, if I'm having a heart attack, I'm fine now. I'm at least in a place where there's people
you're in a responsible place.
Yeah. So, like, you know, or, like, you know, I'm not just in bed alone. Like, I'm actually around people.
I'm not going to die in my hotel room.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at least I've done everything right in that situation where at least I can get some help, even if I do die. Like, I would have been... But you know what I mean? Like, at least...
You give yourself the best chances.
Yeah, you give yourself...
I get that.
Exactly.
Because I phoned him the next day, like, in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hey, like, I just want to order some nacho chips. And then all of a sudden he just starts telling me he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he tells me this whole story and whatnot. And I'm like, man, like that like really, really sucks.
But you want to get
and then and then there's like a little bit of a silence. I was like, so, can I get those chips? no, I don't think that's But
yeah.
Nice.
But, yeah, so
but I like felt bad. I was like, do I even ask to get
yeah,
chips
it's
now?
like I think it's like maybe just let him have this one.
Yeah.
So, like, so then, like, okay, 10 minutes? Okay.
We have been told by our executive producer.
10 more minutes, he said. But anyway, so yeah, like, in the situation, like, my dad's worried the whole night, like, doesn't get a lot of sleep. My mom got some sleep. Because she found out I was completely okay. Because I called him. I'm like, yeah, it was just like an anxiety attack and this and that. She's rattled the next day because like her, Ashley, and my sister come up, so that like at least someone can drive back with me, so I keep my mind off things, right?
Yeah.
And then like my mom's like, "What the fuck's wrong with this family?" It's like I have anxiety. My sister has anxiety.
Your dad.
Anxiety. My dad has. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with all you guys?" Like,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't. No, but you told me. Yeah, she just told it on the way up. She's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you guys?"
Yeah. Okay, that's actually funny.
Yeah.
When my kids worry about shit, I just don't give a fuck.
She doesn't give a fuck, man.
Hey, you
I
gotta
have
that.
a little more
That's
than
awesome.
Renee does, because Renee like will worry more about things than I do for certain things. So I have a little bit of my mom, but it's mostly we both have our dad's
Yeah.
genes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just funny.
But like it's funny when you get into that situation, you go like, "What the fuck is wrong with y'all?" What is it?
But I think it all goes back to my mom is like pretty like faithful and like holy. So like she believes in God.
Just faith.
Yeah, she has faith. She's not worried about it. She's like, if I die, I die.
Shit,
Or like me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. No, like I swear to God, man, she's not.
Your
worried about
mom's
it.
Dolph Lundgren.
My mom has no. I don't think my mom, because it's the same thing that happened with my grandparents. They were not afraid at all. Like they just, they were completely.
Lord,
Actually, and I will say just quickly on this,
Yeah.
palliative, like when I worked there, one thing I will always give an argument for religion. Holy shit, you see it
You're
when
calm.
people, because like we had this one lady, I remember she was a nun,
Yeah.
and she was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Nothing. Didn't feel anything. She was like, I'm just waiting. Like, waiting for the moment. She was so okay with it, whereas, like, you don't see it, but we'll have, like, you work night shift there.
Yeah.
The amount of people, like, 2 and 3 in the morning, will come in and they're weeping.
They're panicking.
Or sobbing. Or freaking out because they're like, I don't know I don't want to die. Right? Like, they go through all this, like, holy shit. And, like, for her, she's like, I'm already got a plan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you gotta give it this, though, like, in the sense that, like, shit, they give them a lot of solace.
I'll race you.
Yeah. I'll race anybody into the grave. I'll win.
I'll fucking beat you, bro.
That's such a strength, though, because that's like my biggest fear. Is just like, because I don't know what that experience feels like.
Oh,
Because you'll never know, right?
no,
Until
death
you're
is
dead.
gonna be great.
Yeah. But like that's that's a lot of people's that's a lot of people's fears though. Is like death is their biggest fear. Like,
Death is not. Death is lovely.
that's like why
Death
I
is a
hate-
reward.
That's why I
get out of this
like,
shit.
That's why I'm like paranoid about flying because it's something you can't control.
That's
Like,
fair.
if I'm in the
Thank you, sir.
airplane, I'm not the one controlling the airplane. Someone else is doing it for me.
If I die, it's his
If I'm,
fault.
if
Yeah,
I'm driving,
it's not even my fault then.
I feel
Denzel
more
Washington.
comfortable.
Scot-free.
I feel more comfortable if I got in a car crash and died because I'm like, well, I was at the wheel.
That's
I don't know. It's weird. It's stupid.
I'm
but
backwards. I'm like, I'd rather not be in control.
There's a difference, Ashley. That was a panic attack where I thought I was having a heart attack in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Or when you greened out, am I dead?
Oh yeah, I was so greened out. That's all.
okay.
That's all on Drummond, and I'm not gonna say anything else.
Also, quick side
I will
note.
fucking call out his name because that was
Fair enough.
bullshit.
But on your mom's comment, I just thought it was funny when your mom's like, "What the fuck is wrong with my family? Why is everyone?" So we had a similar moment with ours. Because we all, like, I think it was Christmas, and literally it was all of us going over and be like, oh, did you bring my pills? You got my pills? Every one of us had pills! So, like, and I'm not going to go into the individual medical, but, like, I remember we literally all, and my sister's like, am I the only one in this family that doesn't need pills to survive? And she's like, if there's an Armageddon and you all lost your pharmaceuticals, she's like, I'm the only one that would live. I'm like, hey, I'd live, I just wouldn't be happy about it. Which I thought was a pretty good retort.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that's funny.
I know,
shit.
like when it comes to death and stuff like that too, it sounds morbid, but in all honesty, especially after palliative, I have no fear of it. Sorry,
That's incredible, man. Like,
I don't know. It's nothing. It is nothing.
you know what? Like the thing is, like,
Well, we say that now. But have you been in an experience close to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
we're like, I think like, I'm
Outside
trying
St.
to
Paul's,
accept
I
it
got
a lot more. Like, I'm trying to accept
No, I meant
it.
you personally, though. Like where you were close to death. Okay.
Really?
2 times.
Really?
Well, actually, technically 3. One was suicide attempt, not actually attempt, but like was driving and like I drove.
You were
No, but like
thinking.
I was close. I drove. You know, like the exhibition ground.
Yeah.
You know where they have that huge pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove up, down, cross, this, everywhere. I'm like, I'm gonna hit it this time. I'm gonna hit it this time.
Okay,
I'm gonna
that's
hit
more
it this time.
serious. That's more serious.
And like that was my, and I guess maybe that's not fair to say near death. That's not.
No,
really.
but that's closer than
I
just
had
thinking about it.
that. I had another one in. Actually, it was. Oh yeah, it was. It was at the hospital where I had a patient. We were going up, like we were literally going upstairs. And like I know enough about like hard stairs. He's in front of me, big guy. I'm behind him, leading him. He starts to lose his balance, and I remember very distinctly. It was lucky the way we fell because it could have been way worse. He fell, and like I didn't have enough time to get out of his way. But I remember nursing enough to go, never try to catch them. If you try to catch them, you're gonna break some, or you're gonna hurt yourself. So guide them. I tried to sidestep. And, like, I kind of went like this. He pushed me so close over the side of that railing. Because he fell backwards, and I went like this to guide him, but he pushed me up. My legs, like, my feet were up. So, the railing's here. My feet were here.
Wow.
The only reason I didn't fall over, he collapsed and pinned my legs against the side.
Holy shit.
So I went, and I went, like, and that, like, that, Oh fuck! I had one more and then I forgot it now.
But anyways,
That's more.
Oh,
than
and then
anything,
I had one guy, and I'm not even sure if it's net tested like technically that, but I actually have at St. Paul's a guy tried to mug me, and he had a knife, and it was against my side.
Oh,
Like he had a
shit.
knife, and he just came up to me, and I thought honestly I remember it. This is a while back. I know you know.
yeah.
It was, and he came up, and I just remember I'm like, oh, it's another typical. He wants drugs. Or he wants something. They always want the same fucking thing. And I'm like, and I just like tried to ignore him. He's like, hey buddy. I'm like, and I just kept walking faster. And all of a sudden, clamp on left. I'm like, the fuck? Looked over, knife here, and I'm like, and then I just remember him saying, he's like, give me all you have. And I just remember I froze. I totally froze. I'm like,
Who win?
like, and I'm like this, and then I remember freezing, and then like I will fully admit to you, and I know it sounds fucking weird. In a split second, right, you go over everything, and I kid you not, and it was actually kind of almost a decent moment for me, and I went, okay.
Yeah.
I just went, okay.
Yeah.
I would
Like,
too.
and that's what I said to him. I went, and I remember he's just, I can't remember what the fuck he said. Something like cash money or something. I don't fucking know. I had a knife.
Yeah.
And sorry. And the only reason, by the way, I froze. I think I froze. I don't know how long it was. I just froze. I went, okay, like an idiot. And then SUV pulled around the corner. He fucking bolted because it looked like a you know the cop car like the same
Chevy,
model,
like a Chevy.
same model. And I remember sitting there and I'm like, and I went in, and I went into the people like at work. I'm like, hey, and it's surreal, right? Like you're fucking.
yeah.
And I remember sitting there and I'm like,
Holy shit.
like a guy just tried to mug me. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, they're like, what? And everyone's sitting in there. I'm like, can I go home?
Well, yeah.
What's my first thought? I'm like, hey, can I use this to get out of work?
into a cow. Can I go home?
No, but I actually, I'm like, can I use this to get out of work?
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, of course you can. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck yeah. It sounds so weird. I know.
But it's so true though. Why the fuck wouldn't you?
But
I
then-
would ask
but
for
then-
that too.
The thing that came around to me though,
Holy
and
shit.
that's why, okay, I know, and it's
Holy
preemptive to
shit.
say that I'm not
How many
afraid of
minutes
it. It's
are we at?
preemptive. Because who knows when it comes up. But in the moment that he had it there, I did, in a split second, I went over everything. I went, okay.
Well, yeah.
I was ready. I'm like, do it.
Dude.
I'm not giving you, like, not like I'm not giving you money. I'm like, I'm not scared of that. Or like, not scared of it. Like, I'm definitely scared of a knife. But I'm like, it'll hurt.
If it happens,
I'm like, I hope you don't stab me there. I hope you, like,
You were
get
not
it
with
over
that,
with.
dude. I would have been like, here's my phone, here's my wallet.
Well, no, I froze. I froze
here's my
entirely.
Oh no, but you would. Anyone would freeze. Dude,
Yeah,
you
I
had
like-
a knife against your side.
But I
of
kid you not,
course.
like, you know, like the thing like shell shock. It was like garbled, whatever the fuck he said after that.
You
Yeah.
can react fast.
And
enough.
I don't know if I physically said okay, but I felt like I went okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is weird.
No, there's nothing wrong. You did the right thing. Like I would have done the same. Like that's what you.
It's
hope
just
you
a
do.
normal reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that, no, that's why
It's not worth whatever you have on you is not worth.
Oh,
no,
God, no.
not that. But like it was, it's a weird moment, or it's a weird thing it's a weird mindset to be in.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely abnormal.
Yeah.
It's definitely, like, you have to start thinking different. So. But that's a situation of, when it's your first situation like that, you're panicked, you're froze, your mind's blank, everything's fucking different. But people who've been in that situation 2-3 times, all of a sudden some guy pulls a knife on them, they go, okay, look at surroundings, there's
they start to-
people,
more
there's
objective.
witnesses, there's escape path, there's, oh look, he's a little bit off balance, I think I could take a step this way, he would lean this way.
Yeah.
Like,
What if the
It's
guy was
just situational.
What if that guy was a schizophrenic guy? He would just stab you. Like, he wouldn't even.
oh, he could be voices.
oh,
It's like you
guess
say,
what?
here's my money, and he just stabs you anyways.
The same time, I forgot about this too. Before it happened, a guy came running up to me, and this is why I was like, "Fucking again." God damn it. Guy came running up to me, and he's like, and I remember like fucking out of it. Hey, man, you got an emergency room? Like that was about as much as he could say, and I'm like, I pull up my headphone. I'm like, what? And he's like, you got an emergency room? I'm like, yeah, it's over there, man. Just get going. He's like, oh, thanks, buddy. Turn around. He's got a fucking knife in his back.
In his back?
In his back, like up here, sticking out, like the handle, big steak knife out of his back.
What did you do?
I just went, the fuck? And I look back and like big blood spot on this thing, and he's just like kind of like this, getting over there.
Like, good luck, buddy.
And then I didn't, you know, I realized after the fact, apparently he'd been stabbed. There had been like 2 other stabbings near the same time I got mugged. I'm not sure if it was the same guy.
It was a knife time,
but it was a knife time.
It was
a St. Paul's knife fight.
See, someone called knife round.
Knife round.
Knife
Never
round.
bring a gun
This
to a
sounds
knife fight.
crazy, but like if it's that dangerous, there needs to be escorts like everywhere.
Oh, there is. The security escorts a lot of the nurses. And we
I
have
know,
a-
but
we
there
have a
should
lot
be a lot more cops around St. Paul's.
of,
Honest
we do.
to God.
We actually do.
I know, but still.
But that's the thing. We have done
No,
every
I'm with Ray,
implementation.
dude. There should be one on each
I know.
corner. Like,
We've
there
done
should be one on each corner.
implementation. they cannot facilitate having the guy there all the time. It's just
No,
not doable.
but it
But
needs-
no, I
it
know
needs
what
to
you say. But their patrol, and I've actually like they've come in and done it. If you're ever around St. Paul's, at any time a cop car will be patrolling in that immediate area.
Okay,
There always
okay.
is one, but
okay,
they
I can't.
argue you can't like. is
Don't
it-
don't finish force
yeah,
people.
but they argue
not
it
actually
and they're like,
forcing them, don't
and they well
Christian, do you?
yeah, give it to me. I don't want to pay for it. Anyway,
You're a pusher, man.
I'm not a pusher.
You're a pusher of drugs, and believe
When
me,
the fuck have-
he
when
pushed
have I
me.
ever been
He
a pusher
pushed
of
me
you
into my
pushed
cocaine
God on
addiction.
me.
Well, that's different. Okay.
Anyway, are we over?
I
I
love
think we're
him
over
and
at
he
10
loves
minutes,
me.
aren't we?
Anyways, everyone has a different perspective. Every person's different. Respect their beliefs, respect their gender, and respect their pants.
Yeah, only my opinion
Actually,
is
that's
right.
a really smart way of saying things. Yeah.
The pants aspect, I'm sure.
There's
about.
If you
well,
own all the
actually, no,
pants,
if
you own all the
think about
power.
it from a sexual way, that
Are we done
it is correct.
Sexual pants.
Oh yeah.
No.
Like,
Good job, everybody. We did it.
Anyways,
harming people.
Successful.
Anyway, thank you for listening to another episode of the Entertaining Stupid Podcast. We'll probably get removed anyway from the conversation
'Kay.
halfway through the thing, but we will say this at the end.
once more, COVID is real. Take precautions.
Real.
Wear a mask. Social distance. Get your shots.
And we
If you can get vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you need a booster already, go
Get
the
your
we
booster.
booster.
hate you all.
That's a lie, but we love you. Thank you
No,
for
we
listening.
don't love you.
Even though it's just gonna be
We
us
don't
five
care.
anyway.
We just want
Thank
your
you.
money.
Bye bye.
Give us your money.
Bye.